The Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings 2021 Rocket Mortgage Classic Picks, Bets, Preview, One and Done, and even a recap of the extended edition of the Travelers Championship. Geoff Fienberg will be on the line in a second. I want to remind everyone out there to smash the like button to the episode. Subscribe to Mayo Media Network, and in the comment section, you tell me which of the favorites is your favorite this week. You had to bet one of them. Which one is it going to be? 30-1 and below is what I'm talking about when I talk about favorites. It's like sometimes I talk about give me your favorite long shot, and they're like, oh, I love Jason Kokrak this week. He is 25-1. Like, give your fucking head a shake, pal. Like, figure it the fuck out, okay? I don't know why I'm already on edge. I'm actually quite happy for this tournament to be going on. I'm in a good place. Geoff Fienberg is also in a good place right now because although I did not hit a winner last week, and my guy made 5 consecutive bogeys to end his round, Geoff Fienberg did hit a winner after, what was it, 8 playoff holes with Harris English?
8 playoff holes. I guess both of their 18th holes in many ways would have felt like a playoff. I feel like I told my wife I'd be able to help in like 5 minutes, you know, as Kramer was like lining one up on 17, thinking, okay, the moment might be too big. And I don't know, it was cool. Never ended. But yeah, I was jealous of you most of the tournament, though. I'm like, how did I not listen to Pat on Bubba? Like, I should have picked Bubba. What kept me off Bubba? You know, but hey, I don't know. Sunday comes, English, killed it. Love it. Thrilled.
It's funny because in the first look show from last week, I was all over English just based on what was happening at the U.S. Open. It was just very reminiscent of what Shez did 2 years previous, coming off a West Coast U.S. Open, putting together a really nice week at the major, then going out and winning at the Travelers. But instead, I just bet Charlie Hoffman, so that didn't really work out. Before I get too far into this, I want to remind everyone to play in the best tournament on DraftKings, the Pat Mayo Experience Listeners League. Link is in the description right now. Also join the newsletter. I send those out for golf season, at least, on Wednesday evenings. I got some shout outs here, Geoff. We got a bunch of people who won the Harris English bet, tailing you. So you're making people money, unlike me. I believe that's 3 winners in 5 weeks for you, too. But the Lex Express turned $1 into $500 on DraftKings. Pretty good. D. Huger won $5K, taking down the Listeners League. Congratulations. Dave Marensky, believe I pronounced that wrong, but still, he turned 10 cents into $20. It's huge ROI. Shane Smith, obviously the big winner of the week. Congratulations, dude. He won the 555. That was good for $100,000. But I do, Geoff, want to give a special shout out to this newcomer on the scene. I believe his name is Saul Goodman, DFS. He turned $14,177 into $964. That's a big week.
Way to go, Saul. Way to go, buddy.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for following the picks.
Yeah, no, I don't know. He can have fun with it. It's funny, not as many people like catch on or like take the bait like they used to, though, with those types of tweets.
No, Big T is really the king of it. When it's like, oh, I'm in for 22,000, and he cashes like $800. Like, hey, I won $800. People are like, no, you did not. I don't think you know how math works. It's bad that people have caught on to it, honestly.
It's a great week. Shout out to DraftKings also, Pat, who they had by far the best English number on the market, 50-1 DraftKings Sportsbook. So shout out DraftKings.
Yeah, so hopefully you hit it at 50-1 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Oh, did you see my announcement that I'm hiring for football season?
I did see your announcement. Yeah, apply within.
Yeah, so it's the pinned tweet on my Twitter account right now. It's also up on Facebook.com/thepme. I'm hiring at least one host for NFL season for a fantasy football show that I'm launching probably in around 3 weeks' time. We got some big names lined up for it, but I also think this is a great opportunity. If you have zero experience in the space, you have some experience in the space, and you're just kind of a grinder at like a smaller place, and you want some more exposure, and you think you're pretty good, just submit me a 5-minute video. The instructions are in that tweet to Mayo Media Inc. 2 at gmail.com. If you do not follow the instructions and you go over that 5-minute time limit, I'm throwing your fucking email in the trash. Like, you can't follow instructions, you're not going to get a job. Shocking how that actually works. But I would recommend doing it sooner rather than later, because if I get like 20 submissions in the next like 10 days, the deadline is July 10th, by the way, I'm going to watch all of those. And if 200 come in on the last day, I might have to pick and choose because you waited too long. I want someone who's eager to go get this job. So you can find all the instructions on that tweet. It's a paid gig. So if you're looking to hop into the fantasy football scene, production experience would be a bonus, not necessary. I want to try to find some talent out there. And Geoff, I'm thinking, do you think you have the stomach to do an every week Charger show? Bolt up with Geoff Fienberg.
Yeah, fine Bolt.
Fine Bolt.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I think so. I'm already. Geez, I don't want to go here, but every time Brandon Staley opens his mouth, Pat, like I fall in love more.
Geoff, when was the last time the Chargers had a coach that you didn't immediately like? I remember you were glowing about Anthony Lynn.
All of them. He was Octavia by his first week on the job. I don't believe that. He got their name wrong at his introductory press conference. He started 0-4. I mean, there's still room for Staley to start 0-4. But yeah, no, this feels different. It's not just me. People that have heard him speak, you don't make the ascension in the coaching ranks like he does, as dramatically insane a leap as he made from one level to the next, to the next, to the next. And you're like, that's so weird. How did he do it? And then you hear him speak and you're like, holy shit. So let's go. Fire it up. Training camp starts in about a month. Thought I would be able to stay calm maybe until late July, but no, I can't do it.
I'll have fantasy football shows on Wednesday and Thursday, NFC South and AFC South to round out the division previews. The other 6 divisions are already up on Mayo Media Network and the Pat Mayo Experience, Adja Podcast. Andy Lack, your boy, is going to be on the Pat Mayo Experience tomorrow. First timer, breaking down golf as well. Plus, the Euro show is going to be out Monday evening. And starting next week, I'm not going to make the official announcement yet, but there is going to be a new golf program on Mayo Media Network, Geoff. Not featuring me or you, though.
Do tell.
Why? I can't. I'm going to wait. Even you don't know. So I've talked to the people involved, and I'm excited.
Okay. That's exciting.
Yeah.
More golf content.
Yeah, more golf content. You got to quadruple down on golf. We're quadrupling down on football, golf, and UFC, and see where that takes us over at Mayo Media Network. Plus, the Everyday Euro show is still going on. John Reed has his Everyday Wimbledon bets, are 5 minutes long each. My pick show and DraftKings ownership show on Wednesday. The video will be up on Mayo Media Network. If you are a podcast listener and you are listening to this podcast right now, subscribe to Daily Fantasy Sports Picks and Bets The Mix. I'll throw that link into the description down on, or just in the description of this podcast. You subscribe to that, it will come out on that feed on Wednesday. I don't want to overwhelm the PME feed. The other feed is where the overwhelming short form content goes, and that's a short form show. Let's talk more about Travelers. I read the Bubba Watson post-game interview, and I actually kind of liked his state of mind. I don't know what he hit that approach on 13. He took out a 5-iron and tried to get to the green in 2, and I don't know what happened. I was watching it without sound. After he hit it, I was like, oh, he laid up. But he clearly did not try to lay up, but he did end up laying up. And whatever happened from that shot on was just god-awful golf. But in his post-game, he talked about it, and they were just like, how do you feel? He's like, you know what? I'm just happy I was in contention. That's what I want to do. And he's like, I threw up all over myself. If that happens again next week, it's fine. I put myself in it with a chance to win on Sunday. It happens. I thought that was a pretty good mindset to have.
Incredibly healthy. They all acknowledge how hard winning is. He obviously realizes he didn't have the golf required to win a PGA Tour event down the stretch on a Sunday. The only guy that can't seem to make that work, I guess, would be Finau. But every other player of that high end skill, Pat, they're just no, get me there. I'll take care of it enough. Put me there. The math will work in my favor. I'm too good for it not. Or sometimes you get lucky, not even have to getting good. And in many ways, you could have argued Bubba could have gotten to the finish line getting lucky, because I don't think anyone thought sniffing 12 was gonna having 12 on 18T was gonna do anything for you at 3:30. But it was. But yeah, he obviously had a tough day. I enjoy those post-round press conferences. I enjoy the transcripts, getting to read them. Even Brooks, Pat, because they're like nonstop with him about, he forgetting the Bryson stuff. There's now like the thread that he leaves out there with his focus for non-majors, and he's continually asked about it. And every time he's asked about it, he sheds more light on it. He's like, yeah, listen, it's hard for me to focus at these events, like be it a Thursday, be it a Sunday, like for whatever reason, the courses, and he kind of like alluded to the courses aren't hard enough that he like can't like force the focus. Well, at the majors, like every pin is like 3 yards or 3 feet from like being in trouble, where you have to be focused. And he's like, here, most events, everything's like 8 feet, 10 feet from trouble. Like, I don't know. I can just get by. So I don't know. I kind of do genuinely love his honesty, and he says it without saying it. Like, no, like he kind of said, anyone can win these. The majors, it doesn't work like that.
Well, that's what I wrote about and talked about in the Sunday show. If people want to go back out and check out the first look and research when I dig into the stats, is when you get to these easy courses, especially in a field of 156, like the Travelers, like this week, like next week at the John Deere, like the entire field is live because it's not hard. Like if if you're hitting everything to 12 feet and you're making a whole bunch of putts, you're going to be there in the end. Like there's a reason that KH Lee can go out at the Byron Nelson and just run away from everyone. And then when you get to the US Open, it is the who's who in golf because the course is just so much harder. Like people always think like the easier the course.
Oh, Hostler had one.
Yeah. But like the easier the course, like it doesn't look good because Bryson ends up going out and winning last year at this event. And, that's going to happen from time to time. If the best guy shows up with like their A game, they're going to win these events against the weaker fields. But I think it really normalizes the talent between the high end and low end when you get to an event where it's just basically a putting contest.
I think that's incredibly well said. I think that's essentially what Brooks alludes to every time they want another thread on it. And whether they mean more, the majors, to how hard they are, there's a consortium of factors that or just the fact that he's so goddamn successful at them that whatever he's doing is working for him. And it's not like he hasn't been able to win. He got the win in Phoenix this year. He lost at the finish line at a WGC last year. He won that WGC the year before. Like, it's not like he hasn't had runs in non-majors. He played great this week. And yeah, I don't think he's like interested in seeing like trying to get more focused for these events. Like, I don't think he wants to mess with like the recipe that's like working so great for him. But he knows he'll pick off enough of these randos, even if the general public doesn't think he's capable of it.
Well, and you mentioned like the WGCs. He has a good track record at WGCs, although I don't think he's ever actually won one. He has a bunch of like second and third place finishes, and a second and third place finish. I mean, Brooks is obviously
didn't he win one?
I don't think that he did he? He came second. He lost to Thomas at St. Jude. Did he win that the year before?
Doesn't he have like a 1 and 2 there? Or maybe he won there when it wasn't a WGC?
No, I think he...
Or am I just...
I think that he had a second there when it wasn't a WGC. Oh. I think. Anyway.
Whatever. I'm just here to say he's so good. He's going to pick enough of these like random tournaments off. And he said every pin is like 3 feet from trouble at a major. Like my focus probably goes up because of that. And here I can make a 15-foot mistake and be just fine.
He did win the WGC at St. Jude in 2019. You were right. He came second last year to Justin Thomas when we had the monies on. Remember Thomas hit that awesome shot from underneath the tree on the last hole?
Yes.
Devastating.
He survived a water ball or just missed a water ball too. Whatever.
You brought this up last night, and I thought it was pretty interesting. And maybe people are so beaten down on it from this point that we all just kind of laughed at everyone like during the match play. It's like, oh my God. After like two good rounds and two good matches at the match play, it's like Kevin Kisner. Ryder Cup team. Like, Harris English is almost qualified for the Ryder Cup team at this point. He's an 8th in the point standings. Like, a couple pretty good, like another really good finish or a high finish at the British Open or a WGC, or fuck, if he wins like the Wyndham or something like that, he's going to be on this team, not as a captain's pick, as a guy who qualified.
And when do they cut off? I mean, the FedEx Cup playoffs are in play there as well. And he had some great runs last year. Didn't he just lose to DJ? So the multi-year results are there. And yeah, I was just saying it in jest, but it gets nauseating when I wasn't even saying they needed to turn that broadcast into a Harris English for Ryder Cup debate. It's just so insulting to the audience when they try to force Kevin Na, Ryan Palmer, Kevin Kisner Ryder Cup conversations on us. Like, oh, I wonder if Stricker's watching. Yeah, man, Ryan, like, who gives a shit?
It's
like,
not, but it's not even gonna. It might not even end up being a debate with Harris English. He might just be on this team.
Oh yeah. That's another part of it as well. Someone even joked with me in my DMs, like, if this team has Phil and Harris English, should I just be betting the plus 150 Europe right now? I'm like, you know me, I'm always on Europe, but I'm not ready to make those types of decisions. I think the big numbers will still be there. It's a fun conversation to start having. You count the months on your fingers. We're almost kind of there. And I guess in many ways, when guys like Finau and Webb lose their footing, there's room. Be it Kokrak crazy enough, who, if he does something special, why wouldn't he be in the position English is in to not even have to be a captain's pick?
Well, he's 16th in the standings right now. Like, even if he won this week, that'd be 3 wins for him in a year. But he doesn't have like the major performance. Like, Harris English has 2 top 5s at the USA because the US Open ran twice. He finished inside the top 5 both times at the US Open. He won the Tournament of Champions. He won Travelers. Like, that's giving him all those points. Even if Kokrak wins the Rocket Mortgage this week, I don't even think he passes Finau yet.
Okay, that was probably an unfair comparison, because it is right. You even get to include Harris's like amazing finishes last year. So yeah, it is all there. I think there's spots on all these teams that are probably in question that might not have been in question when we did shows at Christmas.
Well, there is a few people up here. Like, Keimer moved up to 21st in both ends of the standings with his second place finish to Vic over in Germany for the European team. But the European team is looking pretty nice, minus 1 guy. And it's only going to take a few more decent finishes from either Lowry or Guido to earn their way onto this team. Like, Vic Perez still has the final spot in terms of the world points for the European team. But right now it's Rahm, Fleetwood, Hatton, Rory, Hovland, Casey, Westwood, Fitzpatrick, Vic Perez. And then you have like Lowry, Guido, McIntyre. They're all lurking. Sergio and Rose are lurking down the list a little bit more. Poulter and Wallace are down there too. Like, you can construct a pretty good team here. Like, it's pretty solid from top to bottom. And depending on how they end up
ranking, they're like outranked like 2 to 8 in the top 10 in the world, I assume.
It is, but I mean, all the world ranking points are skewed towards American events, which they should be. They're stronger fields, but that isn't to take away from. That doesn't mean.
No, but even someone joked on.
Go ahead.
Sorry, someone joked on Twitter. They showed the world rankings, and like everyone's American, but Rahm, and obviously it'll remind me of someone else, probably Rory, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, guess what? America will still find a way to lose the Ryder Cup.
I do think, listen, the Americans should win. It's at a very generous course to them at Whistling Straits, and they have just a lot of great players on this team. But when you go, Harris English is up to 12th in the world rankings, by the way.
Yeah, he was 19th. I think I even used that in my argument for him. Like, I don't know. Like, I think he's 19th in the world, I think, coming into last week. So 12th.
Yeah, so Rahm is 1, Rory's 10th, Hatton's 11th. Those are the 3 top Euros. Victor is 14th. Then you really have to go down the list to find Casey at 21, Fitz at 23, Westwood is 27.
I'm amazed when you did that points list that Fleetwood still has that footing. Like, he hasn't done anything.
I don't know where
Like,
I can't figure out where it's coming from. I don't know how the year.
we do remember where he overloaded finishes, and I don't know what European Tour event he got triple max points from or something in the last 8 months. But trust me, like, I've been bleeding like a fish sometimes with this guy. The results aren't there, so I don't know how he has those points.
Yeah, and he's second on that list too. So I don't know how far back they're actually drawing from. Just looking
Like,
at
last night, I thought he was vulnerable. Like, now it seems like he'd really still have to mess up, even worse than he already has.
Hi, Paul. What's up?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
What did I do?
cardboard fell down in the background. Paul's going to fix that. We'll continue on as we go here. Just looking at Fleetwood's numbers, like 7th in the Abu Dhabi Championship to kick off the year. He had the T5 at the match play. That's helping. He was 2nd at the Scottish Open at the end of last year, 3rd at the Portugal Masters. In the race to Dubai, he was 10th at that tournament. Like, he doesn't have a lot of missed cuts, so he's just kind of like piling up points. But if you go back farther than that, I mean, are we going back to 2019? Like, if we go to the end of 2019, he was 2nd at the race to Dubai. He was 1st the week before at the Nedbank. He was T2 in Dubai, 3rd at the Honda Classic. Like, if it does actually go back that far, I'm pretty sure that's where his points are coming from.
Listen, to me, I don't think there are that many players better than him, and they'll probably want to keep Mollywood together for at least one more ride.
Which Molly ends up making the team? Because I think it's neither.
Yeah, I guess Molly could be a captain's pick, though.
That's tough. There's 3 spots available for captain's picks on the European side. I don't know if he's going to get one of them. Like, if everything stands as it is right now, you'd have to think like McIntyre, Guido, Lowry, Rose, Sergio, probably all have better cases than him right now. Poulter.
Yes,
Poulter is probably more likely to be a random captain's pick than anyone.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot to fight for at the back end of that team. That's why I bet Poulter so hard at Barracuda. At Palmetto, which English was in the final group at. He laid an egg, but final group at 1 week into that great US Open. It's easy to look back after a win to be like it was coming, but form player kept his form. Happy that was my form guy riding. Yeah, that back end of the Euro team seems like it's wide open. Like, there are moves to be made for a consortium of players. And you even said it, like Victor Perez is in a spot, right?
Yeah.
Like, how locked could that be? Like, that's got to be loose.
Yeah,
it's got to be loose.
It's funny because looking at Perez right now, he's 9th in world points, but that currently has him on the team because the guys ahead of him have qualified through European points. But he's also 6th in European points. Like, Bernd is knocking on the door. Like, Rory kind of needs to have a good Open, a good Scottish Open, and a good Irish Open to keep his European points up because he's just getting them all through majors right now. So this is really the time where he goes out and puts up some European points on the board. He's still 4th in European points, but like Wiesberger or Perez could catch him if they have like a nice 3-week run here in the Rolex series. What happened to the French Open, by the way? Wasn't that usually like last week or this week? Did they change that around?
I guess it all got moved around. And I guess quickly got to mention, I didn't see many. Well, firstly, lots of people hit me up asking if I bet Hovland. No, I didn't bet Hovland at 6-1. And I was mad at myself for a bit, Pat, because even if I got, a certain sports book to make me my exotic, like buy a field goal prop, what would that have been? Like 15, 18? And he still wouldn't have covered it.
He didn't cover it. He didn't cover the -2.5.
So I guess I look stupid. Not that I didn't bet him, but like, people like, he can't even win the Euro event by the field goal. How do you think he's going to win the PGA events? Obviously, I'm just having fun, guys. Like, when I bet Hovland, it's like a 90%, 92% stake on that normal number, and then me having fun with something that I kind of do actually believe in. And he's going to win like a hurricane on tour. And he went from the injured eye to a win. Great week. And Martin Keimer's making moves again. It's a great week. Had a blast. Nelly Korda won. Fun week of golf.
You know that Keimer hasn't won since the 2014 U.S. Open?
That is pretty wild. He's had this crazy little run of form, though, right? So people are excited. if he wants to like fully commit to a Euro Tour schedule, he should get that win, right? Like,
I would think so. Do you think that like if he continues to play well throughout the next part of the summer, like has a good like I'm not saying like win the Open Championship, become like T17 at the British Open and have some good results, pick up one of these European wins along the way, considering he won a major at where the Ryder Cup is. Do you think that puts him in discussion?
Question: who would you rather, Westwood or Keimer?
Well, Westwood,
is there room for both?
Westwood's on the team, like he's on by points. So
I guess, right. Yeah, he won the race to. Yeah, you're right. He's like locked. He probably can't even move.
He can move. He could get caught, but he's probably not going to.
Doesn't feel possible. I forgot about that. He was like European Tour Player of the Year last year. He has amazing points.
Yeah, and then he went like 2-2-2 through the Florida swing like that, and one of them was the Players, which was worth a ton of points.
Yeah. Sorry, stupid comment. I don't know, man. He's a vice captain. They announced him and Harrington on the weekend, I think. Pat, no, Harrington's the captain. Him and GMAC are the vices.
Well, GMAC doesn't look like he's in any danger of playing himself onto the team, but if Keimer does get, like I said, he's moving up to 21st in both. It's going to be hard for him to actually qualify. He'd basically have to win the British Open to get it on points. But if like it almost comes down to like the Billy Horschel, Chris Kirk type rule for the European side. Like, do you just take this guy, like these guys who are on absolute heaters at the moment, and try to keep him going if he can put that together? I would say that Guido's the one. Like, Guido's actually earning a spot onto this team, I think.
Very possible. They're getting ready, man. They've got it's Rome 2024, or I don't know what the schedule is. I don't know how they'll get back on normal schedule, but yeah, Guido's making his moves. That should be fun. I'm curious what his plan is now for the summer.
Well, he doesn't. He doesn't have full status on the PGA Tour, so. And he could
probably get exemptions if he wants them.
It's tough because Zalatoris is taking all the exemptions.
Yeah.
Which is, it fucked over that guy who just had like remember the guy who auto qualified from the Corn Ferry Tour because he won the 3 events?
Oh, yeah. I don't know his name.
Yeah, I don't know his name either. He didn't get into the field this week because he needs to get one of the sponsors' exemptions, and they had to give it to Zalatoris. Like, it's ridiculous Zalatoris doesn't have full status on the PGA Tour. He's like the number 28 player in the world.
And the rules changing too, and he's still gonna get screwed. I don't know what to make of that. That's super weird.
But Guido,
you could put them in a real awkward place, right? When he's not allowed in the FedEx Cup.
He probably is not going to qualify for he has to win an event, essentially.
Has to win to get into the FedEx Cup. Is so freaking weird.
Guido's run right now is second, fourth, and he was T13 at Travelers. It's pretty good. Has gone from 192 in the world to 68 in the past 4 events.
I'm here for it. Let's go. That was good times.
All right, let's talk about the Rocket Mortgage Classic. It's the 3rd year of this event, Detroit Golf Club. It's a Donald Ross design. We're out of the Pete Dye swing. We're into the Donald Ross swing. We got this. We got Wyndham. We got the Tour Championship. All coming up, 7,370 yards, but it plays a lot shorter than that. 3 of the par 5s you can get 2 and 2. You can make a bunch of eagles. This is, I mean, I guess now that the Byron Nelson has played at, the Bunny Ranch, or whatever the fuck that place is called, this is probably the easiest course on tour. It's going to be an absolute birdie fest. Lashley won at -25. Bryson won at -23 last year. And this was the debut of Bryson's strategy last year of just like, fuck it, I'm going to hit it as far as possible. I don't care where it goes. And then he did the exact same thing at the U.S. Open, and it worked at both places.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, we kind of sort of came out of the restart like, okay, we're going to watch Bryson closely. And like, no, this seems like it's working. We should bet him to win the U.S. Open.
And then you did, but I didn't because I'm a dummy. But looking at it, this is the course with the 3rd longest driving distance on tour. The average drive is over 300 yards. So everyone hits it a mile. So when you look at some of these par 4s that are a bit longer and the par 5s that are a bit longer, they're not actually long because basically every single hole plays like 30 to 40 yards shorter than its actual listing because there's so much roll on this course when it gets baked out and everyone's driving it so far. Like the average green and regulation rate is 73%. The fairways hit is like 66%. with guys with drives at that distance, and even some of the shorter guys are going to get out there in distance. So it's not that dissimilar to what happened last week, except there's no real punishing holes. The guys are just, instead of the winning score going to be like minus 13, it's going to be like minus 24 or something like that. So it did correlate last year, and I don't know if it's going to change if it was a one-year blip or not. We won't know until the tournament is over. But strokes gained off the tee, like if you were up there in strokes gained off the tee last year, like you basically finished inside the top 20. So I gave extra weighting to that. Now, it wasn't that way 2 years ago when Lashley won. It was more of approach and putting. Last year, it was driving and putting. And a lot of guys inside the top 20 lost strokes on approach somehow. They just drove it really well, and they putted really well. This is where we got into that discussion last year about what constitutes strokes gained approach versus strokes gained around the green, because Bryson kept hitting it so goddamn close to the hole.
I gotta be fully honest with you. For starters, we've got two winners. One of them was essentially the super chalk, and the other was a Monday quali who probably would have been north of 500 to 1.
Yeah, you could. He didn't even end up eligible on my books. He was first round leader too, so he wiped out the first round leader market. And he wiped. I don't think he was eligible on DraftKings that week. He was such a late entrant into the field.
So it's such an anomaly. Like, okay, what are you supposed to learn from that? Like, I'm not here to say anyone can win. Like, or a skill set. Also, I'll take it further and say, if this is played on Canada Day weekend, I don't remember watching Lashley or Bryson win. I probably didn't watch them win. I go up north and enjoy myself and get away. So I don't know. This tournament's kind of a blur. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. I feel like I won a bet yesterday. I'm like, I'm going to see this board great. And I don't have a clue, man. I don't have a clue. So
I remember discussing this with you a year ago, and I think Bryson was 5 to 1 to win this event last year, and he's like plus 750 this time around. But it was kind of like either bet Bryson or just go to like 60 to 1 and bet 5 guys for the same price, and hopefully you get lucky. Like that's going to be it's not going to be a high investment week for me, because it's a holiday weekend. People are going to be off. I probably won't be sticking around to watch a ton of the Rocket Mortgage, although it's kind of a fun. It's fun when you have like 5 guys try to see you can shoot 63 on Sunday in order to win. Like there is some appeal to that to me. I like watching a nice birdie fest from time to time, especially coming off the U.S. Open, and guys on the back nine at Travelers with all that wind really started to struggle going into it. So I think I'm going to take the approach of maybe bet 1 or 2 guys from like 25 to 1 to 40 to 1, and the rest will be like 70 to 1 plus.
You sort of laid it out like perfectly last week, whether you were on the right winner or not. You're like, no, it's a great week. You can build a fun little card. And you got to Sunday, like outside of Hitchcock, who ended up holding his weight the whole way, the entire like final 8 guys on the course, 6 guys on the course were from that like 40 to 60 pocket. Bubba, Cam, English, Day, that was the race. So I don't know. I guess I'm saying again, I don't know, but I do agree. I can never have the willpower to totally resist the good players. So that 20 to 40 to 1, 25 to 40, 50 to 1 speaks to me, but I don't know. Tell me why the math works on this super bomb that he's just gonna make it click.
Well, let's talk about the favorites then. Bryson is plus 750, so 7.5 to 1 to win the event. Reed and Matsuyama both 14. Webb Simpson 18 to 1. Zalatoris 22. Anderhurst this week, by the way, after I wrote him up in my column. Kokrak is 25. Neiman 28. Sungjae, Wolf, and Kisner are all 33 and 35 to 1. Those are your favorites in this field. I'm thinking about betting Kokrak and Wolf. That's where my mind goes when I see this. So you're
just playing like the Bryson profile?
Yeah, just I'll play Bryson light at 4 and 5 times the odds and hope that they have a better week. Bryson last year winning this event became the first player in the ShotLink era to be first in strokes gained off the tee and first in strokes gained putting in an event. Like he really had to get it going both off the tee, be the best off the tee and be the best on the greens to beat Wolf last year. It's just hard to see him. I mean, he can definitely win. If he gets the irons going at all, he's probably going to win. But him replicating being the best putter in the field is going to be tough.
Yeah, I agree. I will just say, talking through some of the board here, I saw a post-round interview with Reed where he kind of, not to the same extent that like Brooks pointed out, but because Reed plays so much. And the reporter, I thought it was a great question, and I'm going to have to paraphrase because you think I should remember it when I think it was so good. But he's like, you play a lot, like, how do you sort of keep your focus? Like, how do you just stay with it, like mentally through all like the rounds, competitive rounds of golf you play? And Reed's like, it's hard. I'm kind of in like a mental like blur right now in terms of playing golf. Went from the US Open, stopped at home for a couple days, say hi to the kids, back on a plane to Hartford, back on the plane. I'm sure he's probably even going back home to see the kids for a couple days, back on the plane to Detroit. So, yeah, I mean, obviously this field, you could, if Reed has it, he could win with like.
Listen, I don't want to get into the discussion of if Webb has it, he's going to win. Zalatoris has it, he's going to win. I agree. If any one of these top guys has it, they're going to win. So
I just didn't like. I'm like my minor in like psychology from Western. I don't think Patrick Reed is in a place to win this week, so he's going to win by 7. But that's just what I saw. Anyone under 25 is a write-off for me. I'm silly enough to like still be enamored with Neiman's driving, Pat. And I want to say if he needs to rely on around the green, like he's already lost. So like, why should I care? In terms of an outright bet, you could debate that for like DraftKings, but he's still been so good off the tee, from a distance perspective. And I don't know, to me, the smallest thing's going to click and we're going to get it to 3 feet. I know you're waiting for that to happen in a couple weeks, but I still feel it. It's
just been really choppy for him. Like the driving and irons just haven't been as good as they were. Like they've been pretty pedestrian basically the past 6 weeks or so. He was pretty good at Charles Schwab, but not great. Really good at the US Open ball striking. That's why he came T31. But even last week, he lost off the tee. He barely gained on approach. He actually chipped and putted pretty well last week. That's why he was able to stay in T36. Like, I don't know, he's just kind of middling around. I'd like to see I want to see him start playing a little bit better. And of course, if he gets it all together, like you said, he's one of the top players. He gets it together. He's going to win this week. I just don't necessarily see it. I don't think that's where I want my investment to go. I just think that someone like I said, like Kokrak is just being undervalued in this. He played this event 2 years ago, was one of the leaders in ball striking, couldn't chip, couldn't putt. I mean, that's classic Jason Kokrak, except now he can putt. So if you can get that going.
What did he do at the U.S. Open?
He missed the cut. He was bad at the U.S. Open.
I don't care.
There's a bunch of guys. Man, there's good players who missed at the U.S. Open.
I agree.
So
I was just curious.
Yeah, he was marginal off the tee, marginal around the greens, or marginal with his irons, bad around the greens. Like, he's not good around the greens. We know that. He just won a tournament when he kept leaving the ball in the fucking bunker. So not too concerned about him. Like, he's won twice already this year. This seems like if it plays out that off the tee does mean a lot, like, we know that he can get the driver going really, really well. The irons can get hot, and he's just consistently been putting. He's one of the best putters on tour this year. And
really good. Yeah, no, you're absolutely
you're
absolutely right.
Like the fact that his name is Jason Kokrak means that I'm seeing him at 28-1 right now. That feels disrespectful for the performance that he's put up in the past year. Like, I think that Neiman is overall a better player. I think that Sungjae is overall a better player, but they're not better players this year by any. It's not even close. Kokrak is way better than them. So either those guys should be 50-1 or Kokrak should be like 18-1 with Webb Simpson.
I mean, I don't think you are wrong. It's like even someone said, like, I'm an idiot, Tony Finau. It's kind of sad what happened to him, especially after a bad U.S. Open. He's like, Finau's not better than Harman. Like, you would never take that long range, but like right now, like Harman would crushing Finau, like almost in every discernible way. So yeah, I guess all that matters is in the moment. Because it's just sort of part of a longer range conversation we've had. What do you think Corey Connors' odds would be if he was here this week?
33-1. I think he'd be with Sungjae.
Yeah. So I got right there. You got Jason Kokrak. You're kind of really selling me on Kokrak and just sort of how complete he was, sort of snapping into like the guy was electric around the greens. He's always kind of been a fabulous or on the greens. Around the greens are a prop. Yeah. Let's take that back. But if you got to scramble here outside of needing that clutch par save on the weekend or at a point in the round to keep momentum, like if you're not just crushing greens and reg, then you're already dead. In terms of the outright, doesn't mean you can't get by in your rosters. There's a guy north of, we stopped at 40, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you. If you got anything else to say, Sungjae is tempting, man.
Man, Sungjae's
Gotta say,
when was the last time Sungjae played well?
For 4 rounds, it's been forever, but he has these flashes. He's been crazy, like day to day within rounds, like the swings, man.
Do you know who else is doing that? Is fucking Dustin.
Yeah, I guess in many ways, Dustin has been doing that a lot. Yeah.
Like you'll just see him, you're like, birdie, 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 triple bogey. It's like, what the hell is going on here?
You are not wrong. But and I guess Wolf, we're just feeling good profile.
Well, here's the thing. Like I haven't bet. I have not bet on Kokrak or Wolf yet. Those are the two that I want to bet on. And because I'm kind of terrified of Bryson running away with it, or Webb just going out and making all of his putts, and Webb just returns to Webb form. This is a Donald Ross course, so guys that play well at Wyndham and play well with their wedges should theoretically do pretty fine here. Hey, Wolf plays well at Bryson-type places. That's just sort of like his corollary player. He finished second at this tournament last year. Now, do we take what we saw at the U.S. Open from Wolf, or do we take what we saw last week at the Travelers when he was god-awful from Wolf? Is he just one of these guys that he might have more win equity, almost like Reed in a way? Like Reed is supremely, not necessarily overvalued. He's probably properly valued, or a little bit overvalued at 14-1. But when you get him up against all of the best guys and he's 40-1, he's actually a value because he can beat all those guys. Wolf kind of feels the same way as Kokrak. Like there's no respect on his name, but we know he can win.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You bet Wolf. Like part of me, I'm betting Wolf. Or when I do bet Wolf, you're kind of banking on, you were just betting on like a natural born winner. Not only do I want this bet to get to Sunday, but if it did get there, I would trust them in any situation that wasn't against like one of the top 4 guys on the board, which is always the likely scenario in a field like this. Like even got English last week. You didn't have to beat Bryson or Brooks in a playoff, or remind me of another elite that higher a Cantley in a playoff who probably would have made a birdie in the first 7 holes. He got to play Kramer Hickok, and they got to exchange great par saves. And then he finally sunk one.
He got to play with Kramer Hickok, who was Anderhurst going into the playoffs. So that was not good news for him. Trying to get.
He actually wasn't Anderhurst going into the playoff, Pat, though. But I think it happened on the second playoff hole. English immediately hits a fried egg bunker shot, and Tim, like moments after that, but he saves par with a great little up and down, as I guess both players did in that playoff multiple times. But yeah, that was the power of it. And speaking of the Andercurse, I'm sure we're going to get some heavy attempt reverse cursing this afternoon, tonight, as you're already listening, as it pertains to the Coupe Stanley.
Yes, la Coupe de Stanley, le Canadien des habitants de Montréal. All of Canada not supporting the Canadians. I am, though. I mean, I don't care anymore, just because I don't care about hockey, but the moment I moved to Toronto, I started rooting for the Canadians just because I found it funny that they were still better than Toronto, although on paper they were not, and then Leafs fans would get very triggered by the entire thing. So I guess I'm kind of, enough of my friends. You worked in
newsrooms? You went to school in Toronto? You worked in sports newsrooms in Toronto? That just breeds a dislike for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Unless you have a natural born love for them, you will just dislike them. So I understand that.
Yeah, and at least it's been a while. It's been since '93 since the Habs won the Cup, obviously. But at least they have, lots of Stanley Cups like that. When you have like the Tims of the world talking about it, like, yeah, they won when they won when Tim was 6 or something like that. But I have enough Canadians fans in my life that I want to be happy for them. I don't really have a team. I don't really care. So I prefer that those guys end up being happy about it, and we'll see how it goes. I'd be so pumped for Morency. Like, I might have to get Morency on the show if they win. Like, he is going to be, like, didn't he fly to Montreal?
Yeah, he is on one right now. I'm happy for all my friends who are hardcore, lifelong loyals. Anytime something like this goes.
And you want to talk about, like, I remember when the Canucks lost the Cup, there was that riot in Vancouver. Montreal is going to riot regardless of outcome for every game. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be a tough scene in Montreal downtown.
There's a couple guys in this next range who I think, well, I'm confident you're going to bet one of them, but I think one of them will be super popular.
Okay, let's go 40 to 100. I can tell you the guys that I have already bet from this range.
Guess?
Yeah, you can have a guess here.
Okay, well, I think you already teed up on Twitter that you're betting Homa.
Yeah,
so
he's down to, I bet him at 75. He's down to 70 now. I took the each way with him. He's sort of, I mean, Siwoo is down here now too. I'll probably end up betting Siwoo now that his odds have normalized once again. But Homa's been so erratic that he's actually becoming a good guy to bet on because he wins. But when he doesn't play well, it's not like he's T2. Like he came T6, like he went 10th, miscut, 6th, miscut, 6th, miscut. Those are his past 9 events on the PGA Tour. And when you have an erratic player like that, like it really means nothing in the outright winning market, whether he comes, would it be better if he was coming T67 and making cuts or missing the cut? No. In fact, him missing the cut is actually helping us in the betting market.
I totally agree with that. And your point from the outright betting market, as we're talking about, and that's what matters here. That's all you kind of want. Like, I'll take my boomer bust guys. You're banking on the boom. That's it. If they bust, it's worth as much as that Bubba ticket you bet last week, even though it lasted longer. Like, it's the same. It's the same.
And it's
obviously Hickok brought outs.
Well, hold on. It's one of these things like with Bubba, what Bubba went back to. He's like, just give me a chance to be there on Sunday. And, I'm going to win sometimes. And Homa has put himself in an opportunity to win on Sunday in 3 of his past 9 events. There's very few players who can say that.
Very true. I would be shocked, especially the way you're like enjoying happy place Bubba, if you wouldn't go back to him this week, Pat, at the 45 to 1. I mean, you're taking the skill set of the Bryson mashing. Doesn't Bubba fit perfectly on your Kokrak Wolf card?
I think that he has the right skill set for it, but Bubba Watson, 2 years played at this course, not very good results.
Okay.
Not a Bubba. I'm not seeing this as a Bubba track for me.
Yep, fair enough.
I just did bet Kokrak at 28 to 1. I went and scanned the market, and 28 was the best number that was out there. There's a lot of 25s and 28s. I didn't see any 33s, but if there is, I'll probably I'll add on $10 at 33 just so I can say that I got that number too.
Yeah, you got to do that sometimes. I've been there. Another guy, I think he's going to be uber popular. The betting line is telling me he's going to be popular. That's Doc Redman, right? Was it here or Minnesota where he was great?
Here.
It might have been here. I feel like really easy courses, people love to bet him. That's sort of where he has joined birdie parties. He can flash crazy rounds. But you could get him at a number that is surrounded by guys
who are better,
win a little more.
I mean, considering Doc Redman has never won, I would say that a lot of these other guys have probably won more. He's playing really, like, his approach game is on point right now. He could not drive the ball for shit last week. And we haven't really seen a spike putting week from him in ages, which is really strange. He's putting really well right now. Like, he's gained in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive events, which is really strange because at the beginning of the year, he was so horrible on the greens. He's really turned that around. But we're not getting one of those, like, plus 6.5, plus 8.5 weeks where I think you're going to need one of those to win this type of event unless you're just completely lights out ball striking. And the driving has been straight up bad for Doc Redman, even through like his better stretch. Like he was 9th at Byron Nelson. He was 2nd at Palmetto. It's funny because he has the 2nd at Palmetto, but he really never had a chance to win that week. It was kind of strange. That's one that Higo won when everyone just bled back to the field.
Yeah, English included. His just number right around, Keegan, Hoffman, Woodland, even Ricky, who did a lot of people, self-included, dirty last.
I guess my response would be, why would it be Doc Redman at 50 to 1 when I could bet Siwoo at 66 and Homa at 70? Like, those guys win.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point.
Now,
I got nothing.
Maybe I won't end up betting on Wolf because I have some interest in Woodland, weirdly enough.
Oh, I like that.
I don't know why. I just feeling like it's the summer of
He
Gary.
was
Summer of Gary's coming back 2.0.
No, the ball striking has kind of come around. We saw, I mean, I don't know how fair it is or how far I can go back to be fair, but to wave some good flags. Wells Fargo PGA Championship was sort of, there's maybe in that home away, it's like either really good or really bad, but at outright at 50-1 versus this field, like who cares, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think I feel more comfortable even with Wolf right now, just because I've seen that, like, I mean, through 3 rounds of the U.S. Open, he was amazing. And even when he was playing poorly, he was still making, like, I guess the difference between something like the U.S. Open and a place like this, like through 3 rounds last year, Matthew Wolf had 25 birdies plus eagles, which was the most on tour last season of anyone through 3 rounds. Like, even at the U.S. Open, he made like 8 birdies in 1 round. Like, the scoring's not a problem. It's just you're probably not going to make triple bogeys at this course like you do at a U.S. Open.
That is a great point. He gets to score like he's going to score without the landmines to sort of derail all of it.
No,
I can make the same case with Woodland, who it seemed like PGA Championship, U.S. Open, every time we're feeling good, landmine.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just go look up birdie and bogey rate right now for these guys and see what's going on. Birdie rate gained. Homa is actually number 1 in the field over the past 50 rounds. Charlie, Bryson, Griot, Wolf, Kokrak, Tringali, Reed, Mav McNeely. I totally forgot about Maverick McNeely with a small green course last week. We're back to another one right now, too. So, Willett. Oh, your boy Willett. He's up there.
Okay, I made one bet on this tournament. Let's just say, because I saw one book had him at 66 and one book had him at 125. So I bet on Willett because I don't know. Seems like 125 will probably be the number that books normalized to, but I bet Willett at 125. Despite this being his first start after like appendicitis operation or something he had recently.
Yeah, I see him on one place at 80, one place at 125 right now, and another place at 80. So maybe the 125 number is actually the big number. I bet you when DraftKings Sportsbook drops the odds that they're going to have him in like the 125, 150 range.
Yeah, I know that's a little farther back than we were talking.
The other 2 from this range, like I wrote up Straka, T8, T11, the first 2 years at this event, plays easy courses and birdie fests really, really well. And coming off a T10 last week, he finally, after 3 missed cuts, got his game back together a little bit. So I bet Straka at 90. And I bet Shez at 92. It just seemed really low for Shez, who, again, had a really good ball striking week at Travelers, couldn't make a putt. Like, you have to catch him on the week that he actually makes putts. But again, he's another guy who I want to see do well on the greens. And I think that he can get to that like minus 20, minus 21 number. He's going to give himself enough 11-foot birdie putts to make it happen.
I'm just sort of scanning through the numbers here. Shez, I don't know. He's not for me. I don't know whether I got to force myself back to Griot here, Pat. It was my one and done last week. He's still flirting at a 70-1 here, which I think was 70-80-1 last week. He had that 5 under push to try to get to the cut Friday. I don't know. I might just for my own peace of mind. I think I got to toss him on this card. That's probably just going to be a bunch of guys deeper.
Yeah, I've been passing on Griot. So I used him on DraftKings. That didn't work out, but I'll probably go back to him on DraftKings. I was surprised that Keegan's number was still so high at 45, coming off back-to-back missed cuts.
Yeah, he was pretty popular last week. Don't really have a thought on him. He's not a guy you're really going to see me bet on. My eyes just kind of go through him sometimes. Although I think I did bet him at Honda and he did contend, but that is what it is. I don't know. I feel like I haven't seen Noren play in a while. I'm seeing his number a lot lower than I thought it would be.
Like, you thought that 80 was too, like, what did you think it was going to be?
Okay. 80 seems fair. That's higher than what I'm looking at.
Well, the one that I actually had the biggest question about, maybe I'll pass on Wolf, just take Kokrak from that top end. Like, he'll be like my horse this week. I'm seeing Higo at 50. Like, why not? Why not?
Same number as his win.
Yeah, same sort of field.
I could argue worse field just in
No, I mean Brooks and Dustin were at the other one. Like realistically, there's 9 players inside the top 50
Equal
this
field,
week.
equally shit field, right? Equal field.
Yeah, 50 seems to be the best number. I'm seeing a 50, 50, and 40 in the 4 places that I'm looking at. Maybe that's the one. Maybe that's the guy here, and that's how I kind of round it out and I go with like Higo, Homa, Straka, Siwoo, and Shez with Kokrak, and that's the 6.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know why I didn't mention it because that kind of stuck out to me. Not so much like I'm ready to bet this Higo, but like, man, that 50, they're like, they don't really care about this guy.
They
Doesn't
don't
get any respect off a win. And the event like since is a major championship. Like, who gives a shit how he played in that?
He missed the cut last week. No, he didn't. He did not play last week. No, because I'm looking at Gary Woodland. Higo missed the cut last week at the Travelers, but gained off the tee, gained on approach. He lost 4 strokes around the green in 2 rounds, which is pretty atypical for his game because he usually has great touch around the green. So just a bad week around the greens, gained everywhere else, and apparently it's hurt his number. I'd go to it. Why not? And like, when we saw him win on the European Tour, it was at all these fucking birdie fests.
Yes, that is true. Birdie parties is where he did sort of show up. Palmetto birdie party.
Yeah, birdie party that got tough towards the end because everyone gagged it away.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not seeing some really annoying odds books at the moment, I tell you.
Yeah, well, when you get a weak field, you just get bad numbers on everyone. Like numbers that you expect basically take off 40%, and that's what the numbers are going to be.
But I guess the field is weak, and as we've already pointed out with a couple guys, when the fields are bad, a couple things. A, the disparity seems so much larger than sort of, stronger field events from, the wide range of options. And when the fields are bad like this, like Nutlow kind of, you can catch some real sneaky things live because the books like we talk about this every bad event, but they take a long time to sort of register who some of these guys are and to respect that they're actually playing well and to realize it's stupid golf. And these guys sort of kind of win all the time, at least like regularly enough. By that, I mean like stupid numbers or stupid world rankings that kind of can sometimes mean nothing.
Did you know that Max Homa in the world rankings is the 8th highest ranked player in this field?
I'm not surprised to hear that.
And he is like
probably
40th in the betting odds.
But over 50 to 1, is he the only
No,
is he the high?
Yeah, he's the highest ranked player. Him and Siwoo are pretty close in the world rankings, but it's him and Siwoo.
You know what? I'm going to do that with you.
I'm glad I talked you into losing your money. Sorry.
No, I don't care. Well, it just is what it is, but that makes a lot of sense.
All right, let's go to the 100 plus range. I'll probably have to continue going down with my guy, the Gim Reaper, who, as I was informed by someone who was at the course at the Travelers, his coach said that he actually prefers the name Gim Chi, which is pretty good.
He does now, does he? Sorry. Just looking at bad Homa numbers.
But anyway, so he's 140 right now. He'll probably be like 200 by the time. Let's see if I can just even pull up an even better number on Gim right now. Gim, 175 to 1. There we go. That's an even better number. What about Gim here? 150 to 1. So 125, 140, 125, and 175. No one's going to be betting Gim. And just one of my guys. So him and Siwoo are going to be the 2 FOMO bets of the week. Other than that, essentially all I did was just run a model on Fantasy National past 12 rounds. So recent form with some of these guys. Norlander's 200 to 1. He's 4th in the model.
Yeah, he was popping early, right? When we were out west. It seemed like he had a bit of life. I guess was that earlier this tournament?
He played well at this tournament in the past. I believe he was 12th in 2020 last year. Couldn't putt, couldn't chip, led tee to green.
Hasn't EVR shown a little life that maybe we could get back there?
Why do you think that? Is it because every tournament he makes 4 birdies in a row and you notice it on Twitter, but you don't notice like the 8 bogeys in a row?
I notice it on the PGA leaderboard more so than Twitter. But yes, the bogeys inevitably come. But it does feel like he held a place somewhere on a leaderboard recently. So
Okay.
I guess that's why.
So here is the recent form. Since the beginning of May, EVR is miscut, 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 miscut. 10th at Palmetto, miscut.
There it is. 10th at Palmetto. I knew I like it's a bad run. And now I'm not going to bet EVR. I would have probably looked into something like that before I would have bet EVR. But I did have it in my memory that he did show up somewhere. So we at Super Bomb time yet?
Yeah, we're 100 to 1 and above. So Norlander,
I got one then.
Hold on, just Norlander, Piercy, Laird, McCumber, and Lebiota are all guys who rank top 20 in the short-term modeling for the stats coming into this event and are all at least 200 to 1. Like they're 200 to 1 and up. McCumber's 400 to 1. Like those are the type of guys that can win this specific event. They could be live.
Okay. I'm going to go a little shorter than that, but we're above 150 still, Pat. Sebastian Munoz. Kind of flirts with some good, some bad, but
his recent form, miscut third, miscut.
God damn, where was that third?
Charles Schwab, and he gained 10.2 strokes putting.
Okay. Also, some of those missed cuts have to be insane.
Well, the U.S. I thought he was winning the U.S. Open when I went to bed on Thursday evening. I woke up and he was like +2 somehow.
Okay, I guess so. Yeah, because I'm like, yeah, he's must have had some real insane moments because he's missed some cuts where his probability to make the cut would have been quite high. So I do have memories of like, geez, I don't know. I guess maybe just play him Thursday Showdown before his Friday Meltdown.
Maybe because he was one of those guys that didn't finish on Thursday. He had to come out on Friday morning and play.
Okay. I don't know.
What about Damon?
What about him?
He hasn't been playing much at all, but in 2 of his past 3 starts, Memorial and the PGA, I don't know how he didn't get into the U.S. Open, but he gained over 4 strokes on approach in 2 of those 3 starts. Very good at opportunities gained. You know, he's a janky putter. Sometimes it's good. A lot of the times it's really bad. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have quite enough distance at this course where he can like really take advantage of it. Whatever happened to Cam Davis? Remember when he was good?
Yeah, I was actually just looking at him and my mind was just like, why can't I bet on Wilco this week?
Yeah, where is Wilco? Is he back? Is he playing the Irish?
I don't know. He's not here. Speaking of the Irish, I saw Rory at +450. That's the shortest I've seen a straight up golf bet in a really long time pre-tournament.
Yeah, on DraftKings Sportsbook, he just got moved to 450. He was at 4-1 to kick everything off. Is this the place where Ryan Fox beat like Russell Knox on that like really long putt, or was it the other way around? Is it this course?
That sounds about right, because I'm usually at that cottage this weekend that I'm remembering in my head right now, and that happened there.
Yeah, that's one of I remember watching that one. I mean, it stuck out so well, I can't remember what course is what. But I really like this Euro run. And NBC does really good coverage of the Scottish Open next week. I really wish they would get their ass over there and do this one too, because it's a good field. I'm actually surprised more American PGA players don't go over and play it. Like, it doesn't seem like any of them are playing if you're not European, you're probably not playing this week over in Ireland. Like, you're not getting like a random Patrick Reed saying, like, remember when, I guess it was unfair the last time that the Ryder Cup, like when everyone went over and played the French Open that year when the Ryder Cup was there, just so they could get some reps at that course. Like, I wish they would do that with the Irish, because some of them play the Scottish next week if you've qualified for the Open, but I'd like to see this field get a little bit better. Yeah, none of them.
Totally agree. Some names.
Are you trying to
Harry
name
Higgs.
names? Yeah. Oh, Harry. How come he's not playing over in the Irish Open, his national Open?
Harry Higgs.
The books are on to Ryan Armour, by the way. He was in the second to final group with Bryson and Wolf last year at this event. Playing pretty well coming in. He's third in the modeling right now over the past 12 hours, like the very, very short term. Kevin Chappell is super high up too, strangely enough. I don't know why exactly, but he's there. He's made 2 cuts in a row. Oh, well, that's probably why.
I also, I know it's a very in vogue thing to say, but that kid Eckroat, he's here. And
who, Two-Face?
Is he Two-Face? I don't know what that means.
Aaron Eckhart?
Oh, yes. Get it now.
There we are. Austin Eckrat. I don't know. Is he like legit? Like I don't really know much about him. Like there was so much made about, and it's because they had so much success right away. Like the Hovland, Morikawa, Wolf year, and even like Bryson and Bryson when he came out, and even Neiman, like these guys played at the Masters and they were good at the Masters and you got to see them a bunch. It's kind of the opposite of that like Tyler Strafani guy, where the hell his name is, like where you see him at all the majors, you're like this guy is terrible. Like, well, what's going on with him? Like, why is he 30 over par? But he's in every featured group.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I don't know where this guy falls kind of on the pantheon of that. Like, is he a bet at 200 to 1? Is he any better than that like Davis Thompson guy who is not playing, or John?
I think like Sky will be betting him, but I don't like you could argue that's good enough, but sometimes
is he better than is he better than John Pack, who's 500 to 1?
I believe so.
Okay. That's interesting. Because Pack was like the NCAA Player of the Year, wasn't he?
Didn't this guy win like, I don't know, it's all a blur. I got a memory of this guy with the trophy, the important one though.
What's the important one?
I don't know, for the amateurs.
I don't know. I think John Pack won like the Hogan Award or something like that. Anyway, I probably will. Maybe I'll bet on Pack first round leader or something, and maybe this is a breakthrough spot for him. This course, I think, correlates a little bit more with like Korn Ferry players. It correlates with college players because it's an easy course.
That makes sense.
There was,
I don't know,
66 to 1. I didn't realize Hadwin was 66 to 1. I thought he'd be lower than that. Why is he 66 to 1?
I don't have a clue. I'm seeing Snedeker on a certain book at 50 to 1, Pat.
He's 80 everywhere else.
Well, I don't have a clue. I honestly don't. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
All right.
Normally these conversations help me. This event, like my interest, I got more interest in events that happen across from NFL Sundays than I do about this one.
Yeah, the RSM. This is like worse than an RSM field, although it has a lot of the same names. And if you want that Homa number at 70 or 75, go get it, because I'm seeing it at 50 in some spots. Same as Siwoo.
I'll bet that right now.
Which is a better number. Like I said, I played the each way on it. So, quick picks for the Rocket Mortgage. I'll have my full cheat sheet released on Wednesday. You can find the cheat sheet show along with DraftKings ownership and the weather podcast-wise on Daily Fantasy Sports Picks and Bets The Mix. So, go subscribe to that with all the other content that's up there. The video will be on Mayo Media Network, so no need for that. And I'll put it in the newsletter as well if you just want to see like the written out version of what's on the cheat sheet. But here's what I got cooking. Coke Rack, I'm in on 28 to 1. I've bet that already. I've bet Homa at 75 to 1 with the top 5 each way. See, Kim, 70 to 1 with the top 5 each way. Seb Straka and Shez Reavy, 90 to 1 with the top 5 each way. You know I'll be talked into the Gim Reaper at some point, and I am going to bet Norlander at 200 to 1 with the top 5 each way. I'm going to do that as we speak right now. Oh, now he's been cut to 160 already. All right, I got to go find a better number on Norlander because I waited those 3 minutes and his odds changed. But I think that he's in good shape this week, at least based on the short-term numbers. What do you got?
I could still see a 200 for Norlander, but you can't get the each way on it. So I don't know.
I think I want that each way. I'd have to look at because the top 5 market isn't out yet, and the top 5 on the 160 is probably worth taking the shot on, even with like the outright win. Because when I look at the top 5 on another site, it'll be like 1/4 what the each way odd is.
Jason Kokrak, 28 to 1. Max Homa, 70 to 1. So I'm going to follow you there. I'm anticipating betting Gary Woodland. I guess sort of like Woodland and like there's just been peak moments enough where I'm just gonna hope this is a peak week. If they miss the cut, I might not even be watching. And outside of in the longer shots, I've bet on Willett at 125 to 1. I don't even whatever. You can make what you want of that. And Munoz 200. Sort of in like a poor man's version of a guy that is gonna peak or be horrible. I like Munoz.
Okay. One and dones for the week at the Rocket Mortgage. You're coming off a miscut. Hoffman.
I got to bet. Do I got to bet Grillo though? Shit. I don't know how. I don't have to make the decision now, but obviously I one and done Grillo last week. He charged on Friday to leave a taste in my mouth that is palatable. I could be back there on Grillo.
What did Scheffler end up coming last week? Totally forgot he was. He was +2. So I won the week with Charlie Hoffman, who did not finish all that well. I think he finished T36 or something like that. Is Kadira not playing this week? Is he just a name I overlooked?
He is.
Oh, he is playing.
I saw a big number.
What's his big number?
I got to go find it again because I'm on a different book, but I did see his name on the list.
I'll probably end up betting Kadira too because I've just been betting 170. 175 is not a great number. He's 300.
I'm seeing 250, but this comes without an each way, so I don't know if you want that.
Now I might just bet a top 10 on him or something like that. Anyway, one and dones for the week. Cust is taking Will Zalatoris. I've already used Kokrak, so I can't take him. I'll use Matthew Wolff as my one and done. To you.
Oh.
Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to change. I'm going to use Max Homa because I bet him. I might not bet Wolf, but I have bet Homa, so I'll use him. Back to you.
I don't know. Give me Hideki, but I don't think like this.
You have used Hideki at the Farmers Insurance Open.
Wow.
You can use Kokrak.
Okay, sure. Give me past the Kokrak. They'll be doing a lot of that in Montreal this week.
They certainly will on the streets, especially if the Habs. Do you think it'll be more or less if the Habs win or lose?
Honestly, I just kind of want to be. I don't even care about the game, like the team the game. Like going to Montreal for an after party if they win should be considered.
It would be electric. I think in order to travel there this weekend, I think you need to have both doses for 2 and have had it for 2 weeks. So I can't go, but I think you can.
No, I'm not 2 weeks on my second, but I'm close.
Yeah, by the time
by the time like they would win the series, because I don't think they're gonna win, but whatever.
Yeah, either way.
I don't even know if I'm cheering for them.
Oh, well, Cust is working his black magic, picking against them already. Said they're going to be swept, like he has said in every series so far. It's working.
I might actually bet on,
They're plus 250 to win the series.
Yeah, but how much are they to get swept? And Cust be right.
That I don't know.
Also, I want to tell you, Pat, I felt really dumb yesterday. You would be disappointed. I got really cocky. Hickok was 7-1 on 18T. I was like, I really should do this. Like, I have English. I should do this. I didn't do it. And then it ended up working because I forbid to hedge at like plus 110. Once I stared down that 7 and said, I don't need this, which was a bad move.
Oh man, I don't hold anything against you with that because I do the same fucking thing when like I did it with Guido and Bland over at the Betfred where I looked at Bland, he was like plus 400. I was like, well, fuck. I mean, with 2 holes to go, Guido's most definitely going to make birdie on this par 5, and then there won't be a playoff. And then of course he didn't, and then Bland ended up winning, and I won. I got my top 5 out of it, but I could have hedged out for a lot less than and then I got to the playoff and it's like even money. Fuck this. I'm just going to ride it out at this point. But I could have easily hedged out. Even Cantlay, I did hedge out on that going into the playoff with Morikawa, but he was the favorite coming down the stretch for a while with Morikawa. And I was like, I can just take Morikawa at 3-1. Didn't do it because I got fucking greedy.
And I guess I've come through from my juju of my Riviera playoff loss to Homa with Finau because I got Cantlay and English like coin flip playoff wins. So there we go. I can't be mad next time I drop a playoff. I'm still kind of mad though. Streb beat Kisner in football season. That playoff loss still pisses me off.
I mean, well, it's funny because that guy, Streb beat Kisner at the RSM, and the year before I had Webb. Webb was the only guy I bet that week at a pretty low number. He was the favorite. But I was like, yeah, Webb's going to run away with this. He lost to fucking Tyler Duncan in a playoff.
Yeah.
So the move is actually just to hedge every time, and then you just have money.
Yes. I guess, but I was like, Hickok doesn't have the stones to Bernie 18.
Well, one thing that you don't do that I saw a bunch of people do is they had either Bubba or English tickets, and they hedged on the other guy. Now, it worked out if you hedged your Bubba money onto English, but if you hedge your English money onto Bubba, you kind of got to scare. I've fallen victim. I learned the hard way about trying to hedge when there's multiple guys in the running. It's
trapdoors.
Yeah, just you don't do it. It's a waste of money, and you might just end up with a double loss by the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, unless it's a very clear 1v1 situation, you just don't do it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, that's why I was kind of mad about with the Hickok. Because, like, that 1v1 and I got the 7 on the out. Yeah, I don't know. Like, that's different. That was just greedy. I just like, who's this kid? Like, he doesn't have the stones for this. And then it was a long 2 hours.
No, and you can even do, like, if you see him at 7-1, one thing that I actually did start to do a few times, and I kind of got away from it, was I was in a situation like that, and it was like plus 500, plus 600, plus 700, and I had the guy in first, I'd throw like $50 on the 70-1. Which didn't cover like the full hedge, obviously, on what my guy would be. But once they like would get to a playoff, then I would reassess and be like, okay, like essentially whatever I would have for money in for the week, I would use as the hedge on the other guy. And then just kind of like, oh, I get to the playoff, either I'm winning my money back for the week or I'm going to win a bunch because my guy still won. Like, that's another way you can do it.
Yeah, always smart. And I guess in the end, I got lucky. I did nothing and my guy hit the putt. So there's.
Yeah, I might. The guy that I forgot to mention, I actually might bet Higo at 50-1. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do that right now. No each way. Let's do this. Higo, $50 on Higo, 50-1. Pay me $2,500. Let's have it, Jeff. Let's have a rip on Garrick Higo for us.
Let's have a rip. Yo, I guess. So, what do you make of what's going to happen to all those people that never want a better roster answer again?
I know. I went over that. I called them the scum of the universe, the people who tweeted me on Thursday morning about answer. I mean, I guess it didn't matter because the guys got to minus 13, but he was like a foot away from putting it to a foot on the 72nd hole, and he hit that weird hill, and it bounced across the green somehow. But yeah. I mean, he played great for the final 3 rounds.
Great.
You'd be shocked you'd be shocked. I didn't know this. Maybe that's the problem. I mean, I do know this. Maybe people who rostered answer didn't know this, is that they don't actually cut people after the first day. They let them have at least 2 rounds to play.
Okay. That's important.
Once you know that, it becomes a little bit different at a course where 63s are available.
And it's like definitely the winning strategy to just never play like really good, consistent golfers ever. If they do you wrong.
I like it. All right, Geoff Fienberg, G Fienberg 17. Enjoy your weekend away. It sounds like fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how away it's gonna be, but just for a couple of days. I don't know. Canada Day here.
So I have the research show that came out yesterday, this show today, DraftKings tomorrow, football Wednesday and Thursday, and I'm playing golf with Cust on Wednesday afternoons. So let's see if I can run my money record to 2-0 versus him.
I'm looking forward to hearing about it.
When we go to Cabot, we might have to stream those days and see how we play.
Yes, that would be something.
It would be
definitely windy, oceanside. Let everybody watch.
Yeah, apparently, like, it's not a hard course if it's not windy, but there's always 30-mile-per-hour winds.
Yeah, that's sort of what those courses are. It's like a British Open, right?
Yeah,
like, it's not hard if it's not windy, but.
But it's always windy. All right, dude, I'll let you get out of here. You can follow Jeff, like I said, on Twitter at GFienberg17, fantasynational.com/Mayo for 20% off. A monthly brings you through the British Open, so now is a great time to go check that out or just wait till the British Open and then get an annual, then you'll go British Open to British Open. Boom, you never have to worry about it, and you get the best discount possible, 20% off plus an annual membership going along with it. At the PME on Twitter, my cheat sheet will be out on Wednesday. If you're looking for the audio version of that, it's on the Mix podcast feed, not the Pat Mayo Experience podcast feed, so please go subscribe to that if you want to listen to the final thoughts of the week, and I'll have some final thoughts in the newsletter, plus some more research as well. Listeners League link in the description of the video and podcast. Thank you all for watching. Good luck this week. I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.
That Mayo experience. Experience.